Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm excited to share something that's going to change the way you approach content creation. Whether you're a marketing professional, run a marketing agency, or you're just someone looking to streamline your content output. So, what if I told you there's a way to create content for every platform? For LinkedIn, for your blog, for Twitter, for Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all with one simple make automation. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. This content engine I've built is a game changer, and the best part is it's powered by Make Automation combined with Airtable. Airtable is the secret sauce here. It's where your AI prompts live, making this engine not just scalable, but incredibly easy to manage. I'm Kelly, and I've been working in marketing agencies for 15 years. I've seen firsthand what works and what doesn't when it comes to creating and distributing content effectively. I've just launched my Skool community where you can get templates for this automation and the future ones I'll be sharing. You should check it out. The link is below. But for now, I'm super excited about this content engine because it brings together everything in an incredibly user-friendly system. It's all about making your life easier while delivering the kind of content that gets results. So let's hop to it. I'm going to show you how my Airtable content machine works. This is where the magic happens when it comes to automating content creation. Let's start by putting a topic in for this demo. I'll use the benefits of artificial turf for homeowners. Now with this system, I've included a field called My Viewpoint because sometimes we want to inject our personal insights rather than leaving everything up to AI automation. So for this topic, I'll type in, I believe that artificial turf is a money saver and also good for the environment. Now things get a little more interesting. Behind the scenes, I have prompt IDs built into the table, which we'll dive into later, but for now, let's move on to the content creation process. So right now I'm going to select blog because I want to create a blog post on this topic with my viewpoint. I'll copy this down and decide to create a LinkedIn post as well. And I think some tweets would also be great. So let's add that in too. And since I have a LinkedIn newsletter, why not? I'll copy my viewpoint for the LinkedIn newsletter and paste it in. Now that I've set this up in my Airtable, you can see there's an empty cell called finished content. Well, this is where the final content will appear after the automation is complete. That's right, the content is going to plop back into this Airtable. So let's head over to make.com where you can see what the automation actually looks like when it's built out. Now, again, this is a really simple automation. Essentially, I'm pulling rows from Airtable and sending them into a router. And then that router directs the data to various AI tools we've integrated. We've got ChatGPT 4.0, Perplexity AI, and Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Now, the real power lies in the prompts we've designed behind the scenes, but for now, I'll just run the automation. Now, normally, I'd have this running continuously in the background, periodically checking the table and creating content as needed, but for the sake of this demo, I'll trigger it manually. First, I'll click to send the information to Claude to write a blog post. This should take a few seconds, and now I'm going to click it again to generate the LinkedIn post. And then we have Twitter, and then our last time is going to be the LinkedIn newsletter article. And just like that, our content was created seamlessly. Let's go take a peek at it. We have our blog post first. This came in fully loaded, beautiful title. Can't wait to read it. All about artificial turf. Love it. Then we have our LinkedIn post. I gave it very specific instructions on what to write, which we'll get into later. Now let's look at our tweets, our X's, however you prefer to call it. And finally, my LinkedIn newsletter. And this is all from my tone of voice. So I'm reading it. I'll probably have to make a few edits, but that's about it. So now that you've seen what the automation looks like, how the automation is working and populating, it's time to go into the backend and seeing what actually makes that all come together. So we're going to look at the backend of Airtable. And behind the scenes here is where I have a prompts table, and that is packed with every prompt that you'll ever need for this. We've got prompts for LinkedIn, from posts to comments, headline creators, and newsletters. There's also a prompt for Twitter, Facebook, and Facebook posts with images we can even prompt for. And while we haven't built out all of these yet, we're laying the groundwork here for a system that you can continuously add to. In my Skool community, I'll walk you through how to build out these prompts step by step, and I'll be publishing more videos soon to help you expand this system. You'll be able to write content for Instagram, Reels, YouTube video shorts, blog articles, TikTok videos, all of it. You already know. Let's get technical. Let's look at our secret sauce here. Particularly in this table of prompts, there is a system prompt. The system prompt is key. It's what guides the AI, telling it exactly what we need for each piece of content. Each different prompt comes with its own system prompt, which tells the AI how to write, whether it's in my voice, a different style, or a specific tone we're aiming for. The customization is crucial for ensuring the content matches the intended style. We also have user prompts. So there's two prompts, system prompts and user prompts. User prompts determine the structure and the output of the content. Think of this as the main content part of the prompt when using AI. It's what shapes how the final piece will look and feel. Now you go ahead and pick a model. For example, for LinkedIn post, I use GPT 4.0. I personally feel like it handles that type of content very well. For newsletters, I prefer to use Claude 3.5 Sonnet. And for other types of content, I might use Perplexity if I need some research that runs Llama in the background. And this setup allows us to tailor content generation to suit each platform perfectly. And here's the beauty of it all. You build everything out in this table, and once it's set up, this is the only thing you'll need to edit moving forward. Let me show you exactly what I mean by that. We're going to head over to make.com again. Now I'm going to open up the AI module. Normally, what you'll see are these long-winded messages in both the system prompt and the user prompt. And those work just fine. A lot of people do that, but here's the catch. If I set this up to be a LinkedIn post writer, then it can't be used for writing blogs, tweets, comments, headlines, any other type of content. To get around this, and to do that, if I were to do it manually, I'd have to have 6 different OpenAI modules, 6 different Perplexity instances, 6 different Anthropic instances running. And then if I wanted to make a change to any of those prompts, I'd have to go in and edit each one individually. That's a massive time suck. And nobody wants that. But instead, what we're doing here is calling the prompts directly from Airtable. So when you look at this setup, you'll see there's no content hard-coded into the OpenAI module. Instead, we're telling it to fetch the system prompt from Airtable. This approach makes it incredibly flexible and easy to update across the board. What makes the system beautiful is that all prompts are stored in one central location. Let's take a look at our prompt table again. For example, when I create a LinkedIn newsletter, I want the prompt to say, "You're a master copywriter for LinkedIn, and you'll write as Kelly." The system prompt here includes a full guide on how to write in my voice. I even have my tone of voice guidelines stored in this table. Let me tell you about that. To create those guidelines, I had AI analyze some of my writing samples, which generated a detailed 2,000-word document instructing other AI systems on how to write as little old me. This document is stored right here, and any content I want to create can access the specific prompt, ensuring it writes in my style. You can store different writing styles in this table, and if you ever want to make a change, you only need to update it here. You don't have to touch any of your automations because they all pull from this centralized table. The same goes for user prompts. The user prompt typically includes what you're writing about, but it also covers how the output should be structured. For example, do we want bullet points? What paragraph style should we use? Should we add summaries or key takeaways? How many words should we have? All these details can be managed here. And another great feature is that you can specify which AI model you want to use. Again, I prefer having Claude 3.5 Sonnet handle my long form content, newsletters, blog posts, ebooks, you name it. For short form content or when I need research, I love going to Perplexity. It just depends on what's perfect for the task. Now, if you're experienced with Airtable and make.com, you'll have no problem replicating this system just by following along. But if you're not, I'd love to invite you to join my Skool community where I'll be sharing this table and its entire structure. You'll be able to copy the table directly without the hassle of building it from scratch. Now, looking further into this automation, I have some hidden fields, but I'll reveal the system prompt and the user prompt fields to show you how they work. Now, these are lookup fields connected to the prompt table. When I select LinkedIn post, for example, it automatically pulls in the appropriate system and user prompts. This is the information that make.com uses. It feeds directly into the automation. All right. Let's jump in and build this. I'm going to take you through this step by step, how to build it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to build out our Airtable. So we're going to go to our table and you're going to create an account. Now this will work with a free plan, so make sure you choose that. If you already have a plan, then that's great. And then we're going to head over to make.com, and we're going to need this to create an account with make.com. Again, all this will work with a free plan on make.com as well, so you can start there. It's basically a whole free automation, and you're going to be setting that up just fine. So once you're in Airtable, we're going to hit the create button here. And I'm going to have the ability to have one workspace. So we're going to hit here and create it. We're going to select this, start from scratch. We're going to go to the title, this space, and we're going to title it training. Data to training examples, social media content. Okay. Let's pick a nice color. Let's go with what we're feeling today. Didn't pick the color, but okay, I'm feeling this color. This is good. We got it now. All right, so we have the table 1 here, and we're going to first start with prompts. I'm sorry, actually, we're going to first start with models. We're going to start with the models, so I'm going to rename this to models, and here, so the power of this Airtable, it's going to house your prompts that you can build out, and it's going to house your finished content. So it's just going to make it so much easier to scale everything that you do. We're going to call this here is the first name, so we're going to call it model. We're going to add this field, and this is going to be a platform. We're going to make this a single select field. We're going to call it platform. We can delete this one, status, and we're going to change this to a formula field now. For pop-up summarized form, okay. Formula field, okay. And I just want you to copy this formula exactly. It's the formula we're putting in here. So for example, I'm just going to go and copy from my other existing database of the AI models, and I'm going to continue, and there they are. And where you get this model information is one of two ways. You can just take a screen capture of the video in here and then throw it into ChatGPT and then throw an image in there and ask it to create the Airtable for you. And then you can just copy and paste it. Or you can go, and what you do is you go into the back end of your OpenAI account, and you're going to need a developer account to do this. And you can go into the models here, and you can get this model information, as you can see right here. You just want to copy and paste these names just as you see them. And it's going to be the same for Anthropic as well. You're going to need a console there for Anthropic, and the same with Perplexity. And again, this will come preloaded in the Skool, then here on the platform. So this is a drop down, so we're going to edit this. We're just going to add these options here. We're going to go to OpenAI, then we're going to add Perplexity, Anthropic. Okay, and I like color coding OpenAI and Perplexity. So let's go ahead and make this one green, and then let's make Anthropic yellow, and I'll get rid of that, and then I'll click to save. So I'm just going to make these for ease of use. I'm just going to go and copy and paste. Here I am, but you can also easily go down and select and edit like from here. But now since this is a drop down, you can pick the one that it belongs to. And this here is just a combination of bringing the two together. So this formula, what this did is it looked at this column. Well, it first looks at the platform, it puts the platform in, and then it puts the model in. So we have the platform and the model field okay. But now we're just going to hide this field. We don't need that right now. And we're going to group them. So we're going to group by platform, and boom, we're done. Look how beautiful that is. Makes me happy. And then as these different platforms release more models with API access, you can just add the new model right here, and it will become readily available. And as like when OpenAI comes out with, well, they do actually have another one right now, but we're not using it for this automation. So I'm just going to delete that. Okay. So that's the model table. Now we're going to create the prompts table. So start from scratch, table to prompts. All right. Now prompts table, we are going to, let's just delete these for a second. Delete, and we'll edit this field. We're going to change this to okay. And what our number field, we're going to call this field. And we're going to change this to a formula field. I'm going to call this prompt. I'm going to copy this in here. Basically, what we're just telling it to do is that every time we add a row, it's going to give it a unique ID number. And then we're telling it to put a P in front of it so that our prompt ID, so we can reference that in all of our formulas. P1, P2, P3, so on and so forth. Just a simple way to keep track of the prompts. We can now hide this ID field right there. Okay, and we're going to add a platform field view. And this is going to be connected to, actually this is going to be going to be a lookup field, a single select field. That's what we'll do. Now we're going to add options here, do about 10. So we got LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, blog, TikTok. Proud of myself for getting all of that spelling correct. And now we're going to color code them. So let's see, LinkedIn, I'll give it a nice little blue. Twitter, we'll do yellow. Facebook, leave it as it is, and then we'll do Instagram. We'll give it like a reddish color. This is the fun part. You know, we have some fun. Blog is gray. TikTok will be nice purple. Okay, so that's going to be the content platform. So obviously, and here we're going to add a prompt name. This is where we're naming the prompt, so it'll be a single line text. Now we're going to have a system prompt. This is the long text. It's going to be user prompt, also long text, and we're going to use end models, which is going to be links to the models, one line multiple, go there, skip that, and we're going to add a lookup platform. Drop down to lookup. Boom, looking at models, and we're choosing platform right there. The field is there, and next one, platform, another lookup, platform model, and then we're going to add one more. But we have to first create the content engine table. So let's move on to that, and then we'll get that, and we'll come back to this model. All right. So let's create the table from scratch again. Starting from scratch, we'll call this content machine. Okay, this is giving me a text, but we want long text. And this is where a topic goes. Don't worry. See, there we go. This is going to be another long text. This is going to be called my viewpoint. Right here is optional so that we know that this doesn't have to be filled out. In order to run this scenario, it doesn't have to be filled out. And again, that will make it long text. So here's another connected where this is going to be called a prompt ID. We're linking to another record. We're going to the prompts. Oops, we're linking to the prompts. Let's skip that. Next one is going to be a lookup is the platform. Let's get changed name to 5 platform. It's going to be put there. It's pulling it from the platform. So we have some reference there. Okay. And here we're going to, we got content type, and this is also a lookup, prompt ID, and we're using the prompt name. Grade fields, okay. We're going to put in another field here called finished content. This is where the finished content is going to arrive. Field type as long text, create that. We're going to add a last modified date, very last modified time, create the field, and also going to add a create time. Create that field. And you know, I'm going to add here, we're going to use a system prompt lookup field that is for system prompt. It's going to be a prompt in the system to create a field. I'm going to do the lookup field, prompt ID, and we're going to select and the user prompt here. I'm using, and then the last one we're going to do is a lookup field for the model. Prompt and platform for the model is creating the field. Okay, so let's see if everything is connected properly. I know that was a lot. I'm going to test this just by copying over a simple prompt I have already created. So let's copy this here. And if I put it in here, I copy prompt name, system prompt is copy. Okay, here's a prompt ID. All right, we're going to select the platform as LinkedIn. And for this, let's select the model is going to be GPT-4. I like that one for this. We're going to link another record, content machine, well, multiple record source. Just create the career field. We could skip that. Now, if we go to the content machine here and we put a topic in, let's put in a simple topic. I have one already copy and pasted. The viewpoint will leave blank, but let's put in a prompt. So the one that we have right now that's built out proper is LinkedIn, and it's pulling everything in there. Looks like everything is working like it's supposed to. So let's clean this up. Let's go to models, and we're going to group our models by platform. Now let's go to prompts, and we're going to hide this field, and we're going to hide this field, clean that up, go back to the content machine. We need a topic, right? So are you for the team platform, content type, finish content, and we could keep these or hide these, or keep last modified, or we're going to hide create date. We don't need to see this in the system prompt or the user prompt. Okay, I'm going to clean this up a little bit more, rearrange this so we have the topic, my viewpoint, prompt platform. We'll put that over here. This prompt can get this, but it can be hidden. The content type as a LinkedIn post. I'm going to bring it over here. Okay, let's change this to row height. I'm going to make this extra tall so we could see everything. All right, that looks good. Everything's all tidied up on the prompts. The models are all tidied up. Everything's good. So now we can go out to building an automation with Make. Okay, once you're in Make, we're going to click Create a New Scenario, and we're going to look for the Airtable. What we want to do is select Watch Records. Now, if this is your first time doing this, you're going to have to add a connection type, and that is going to be Airtable OAuth, and select Save. And then you're going to find a table base, which you can scroll down to. And I'm not sure, whichever you called it, I have a training example, social media content. I'm not going to go through that since I'm already connected. So I'm going to cancel this. Select training content machine. So then you're going to select the base, which is our training social media or automations. That's what it is for me. All right, our trigger field is our table. Our content machine, and our trigger field is going to be last modified. The label field topic, I'm limiting mine to 1. And then click OK and click from now on. All right, our next thing we're going to do is add a router, because that controls the flow here. And what you want is the router, because the router is going to allow us to send it to different AI platforms. So we're going to add OpenAI after the router, and this is going to be to create completion. Now this is going to be the first time you're going to have to add the connection, so you're going to have to click here, and you're going to have to get your API from the OpenAI. Just copy and paste them over. Then to make the connection, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to use ChatGPT-4. I'm going to show you in the future scenarios how we will put a variable in there. So you can call any model from your Airtable that you want to use, which is pretty awesome. But right now, we're just going to keep it pretty simple. We're going to choose GPT-4. All right, here for this, then the role is going to be system. And the message content, we're going to pull prompt. So we're going to pull that from the prompts, which is in our Airtable. We're going to select that. And then we're going to add in the role, which is the user. And the message content is going to be the user prompt, again, from our prompts table that it's pulling from. And we're also going to add the topic. So this is it. We're going to put that topic in there, and we're also going to add my viewpoint, which is optional. Max tokens, we're going to put in 0, and we're going to click OK. Now, I recommend that we save at this point, and let's give it a name here. I am training social media content worksheet. Okay, let's save. If you don't save with make.com, it's kind of weird because it doesn't auto save, so you'll lose your work that you've done. So very much make sure you periodically save. So here we are going to add another Airtable. We're going to, for this time, we're going to update the record. And you will have to go through the Airtable OAuth again. Then you have to authorize again if you want to update a record versus just getting the information. So I'm just going to stick with my training again, select down there. The table is the content machine, and here we're going to be searching for a record ID. So we want to make sure that we have the record ID that came in, and we update the same record ID. And the finished content that's going to come in is coming in from ChatGPT-4. So we're putting in the completed content, which is going to be, you'll find it here under choices, under message content, and we click and OK. So I do recommend that we have an error handling here, and we added an error handler. We're going to add something that's called a break and leave it there at default, because basically what this is going to do, if something's down with ChatGPT-4 or it's delayed, that would really cause this whole system to shut down. And Make will shut you down and shut down the system if it hits that error. So what we do is, by keeping it running, we put this break in, so therefore it'll check back 3 different times. I'll just leave it at the default, so check back every 15 minutes. It'll come back and check to see if it's broken or working again. It'll automatically update. So click that string. It'll open up this last warning for incomplete executions. Okay, great. Now we're good. Right click again to save. All right, one last thing to do here. We have to put a filter in place. So this filter is going to tell this router that if the platform is open, then it'll send it up this way. So we put in the condition. I'm going to select platform from models equal to OpenAI, click, all right. So when it hits this router, if it's OpenAI platform, it's going to send it right up here to the prompt. Next, what we're going to do is build out some more. We're going to add Perplexity. So let's just string this out a bit so we can see what we're building. We're going to create a chat completion. Now you're going to have to go through OAuth again with your actually, you just need your API key. I already have a Perplexity connection. It's similar to what we did with OpenAI. You're going to have to find your AI key for Perplexity and then put that in here to make the connection. The model that I'm going to use is Sonar. Actually, no. I want to use Llama 70. That's the one that we're going to want to use today. So create an item just like we did in the OpenAI before. I want to go add content. We're going to do a system prompt first. The rule is system, and then another item content is going to be user prompt, followed by a topic, followed by an optional viewpoint. And the role here is user, and we can just leave the rest blank and click OK. We're going to add another module here. We can actually just copy this and clone this one. It's so easy. Put it here. This one's for finished content. We're going to delete that. The first kind is just choices, messages, content, and that is okay. Now we're going to add an error handler here. Same thing. Click OK, default. Now we're going to add one more module here. So let's auto align everything. Ooh, looks pretty. Look what we're putting together. Love it. All right, zoom in a little bit, and we're going to add in Anthropic. Claude. So again, you have to connect with your key using Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So here are max tokens. You're putting in 4,096, and then add a message. Role is user, ID, content. Content type is text. The text is going to be user prompt, topic, and my viewpoint. I'm going to click show advanced settings here, and we're going to go to a system prompt. Since we're prompted, we're going to leave the temperature alone. And then we're going to go and update our Airtable from here. We can just clone it and bring it down here again. We'll open it up. We'll delete these two from it. And what we want to put there is finished content and what it's going to be. So content, text, content. And we're good. We're going to add another error handler here, just like before, in case anything breaks, and keep it at the default. All right, and let's align this, and we're good. Okay, let's make sure we save it. Remember, we always do that. And let's see how this works. Now we're going back to our Airtable, and here's all the models. They're loaded in here. And we need to build out our prompts. Now I have some prompts built out already, but if you didn't, let's just pretend. Let's go to our prompt table. Now here's where you build out your prompts, and this is like the master catalog of your prompts. So you never have to insert them into your actual automations. They're just here, and you could always just tweak them in here, and that's the beauty of it. Now, if you join my school, when you download this table, you will have some of the initial prompts started in here. But let's look at one of these. So I have a LinkedIn newsletter that I want to start creating. So I created this prompt for it right here. And this is your master copywriter for LinkedIn. And as Kelly, there's a full guideline of how to write as Kelly is given below. So this is, I have a tone of voice for my prompt that I've created. And I'm going to link in this video to the way that we actually create that. So you'll be able to build out a tone of voice automation for yourself as well. And you could build out custom prompts for all of your writing styles. So I'll make sure that I link that video in here. You could also give it to your writers, your teammates, or even do it for your clients. So that's the system prompt and the user prompt. Here's where we have the structure of what we're doing. So when writing the newsletter, the intro paragraph, the bullets, asking a compelling question. So we put that in there. And then here's where we're going to hide this field. We don't need that. Okay. And then here's where we pick what platform we want. So for my LinkedIn newsletter, I kind of do prefer working with Claude. So I like the way Claude writes for me, the 3.5 Sonnet, the new version. I'm going to select that and automatically puts Anthropic here. Okay, Twitter. It's a really simple thing. You're a Twitter expert. I mean, you could actually get more in depth and make it even like pick somebody that you want to emulate in your tweets. But right here, I said 5 tweets. Now we could change that if you want to however many. So let's write 3 tweets, okay? Now for this, I had Perplexity. If you want to do Perplexity, you could also try Llama, but I want, let's go with GPT 4.0. So let's see how that does. So working with those two, let's go to the content machine and we're going to copy that. Let's add another row here. Let's bring that down. We're going to delete all of that. So we're going to do best use cases for a notebook LM. Here, I am going to want to create a LinkedIn newsletter article. So it's bringing all of this stuff into here like you could see. We could hide this here. Then we could hide another field. Last modified. It's sometimes helpful to have if you don't want to hide it. And I'm going to move this one over here. It's just my preferences, how I like to see it. I think this is very underrated. That is my viewpoint. The tool that needs more credit for what it can do. Okay, and then here is for Notebook LM. Let's make some tweets out of this for Twitter. Okay, now we go back to our automation. That's what we just built out. Now, normally what you would do is you would have this on and every 15 minutes it's going to go and check. But you could also run it manually just by coming in here and clicking it once. So here we could, just to speed things up, I'm going to click it to run once. And you could see it went really quick up to make a tweet. And now it's pulling the newsletter. It's sending it off to Claude. It's writing the newsletter and it's posting it to our table. So now we're back at Airtable and you could see that our finished content is both filled out. Let's take a look at the newsletter. Pretty cool. Let's look at the tweets. We got 3 tweets. Tweet 1, tweet 2, tweet 3. Loving it. Well, yeah. And that's it. That's our content engine. And again, I invite you to check out my school, the Marketing Automation Lab. It's just launching now, so if you're watching this video close to the launch date, you'll notice that my community is still growing. The upside of joining now is that you'll have my full, undivided attention, and I could personally help you get these automations set up. I definitely look forward to seeing you in the lab. Thanks for watching. Toodles!